we're going to talk about how to drive a car as a beginner. This is a beginner driving lesson. It's really important that your instructor takes you into neighborhoods to have you feel comfortable with the steering wheel. If you're not comfortable when you're learning how to drive, it's going to be very stressful. An instructor has to be patient because he or she is teaching you a valuable skill that you will have the rest of your life. And if the instructor doesn't yell at you when you make mistakes, you're going to learn the right way to turn the steering wheel. The right way to turn is turning hand over hand into the turn and hand over hand out of the turn. You have to understand that concept. You have to do more to understand it. You have to apply it. We start in neighborhoods making 12 right turns, 12 left turns. Then we go onto main roads. We go into downtown areas where we have a lot of pedestrians who are under the influence because they've been drinking at bars. We have little kids who are eating ice cream. We have couples who are excited about being around each other, but they present a unique hazard and opportunity. A good instructor will take their time with you and explain those hazards so you can understand it. A good instructor will give you directions in advance to allow you to slow down, reduce your driving anxiety, and then maximize the learning experience. They will tell you, I need you to make a right turn at the light. Be aware of the little kids. Be aware of the people that are drinking because they may come out in front of us. Once you understand some of those hazards, then you're going to be more successful. Next, you want an instructor that's going to make conversations with you. We are humans. We're not robots. So we need conversation to relax us and engage us. For instance, I'm engaging you right now. I've just finished my driving lesson, and then I'm going live to give you a perspective of how you should feel after your driving lesson. If you feel lost and confused, you're not really learning anything. Your instructor should take your time and review and recap what you're learning. If you're not reviewing and recapping what you're learning, you're not really learning anything. When you take the time to look at my content, I go over everything I explain and everything you see. Then you will be successful. Success takes time and it takes work. Usually around the third lesson, if you have an instructor who's really explaining things, helping you understand, you will be successful and then rise. It takes work. You need an instructor who's not going to give you last minute decisions. That is frustrating and very confusing. It's confusing to a beginning driver, which many of you are because you're taking the time to watch my content, and it's frustrating to a driving instructor such as myself because when you give instructions and the person is not paying attention, then there's a disconnection. There should never be a disconnection between you and your driving instructor. If there is, you need to find another instructor. If you're not meaningfully engaged and really connecting with your instructor and learning, why are you even taking driver's ed? Good instructors are considerate. They will check to make sure, do you understand the dangers when you're making a left turn? I don't know what you're talking about. If you don't understand what they're saying, then you're probably going to be in an accident. Some of the dangers making left turns, you have to yield to oncoming traffic. If oncoming traffic is going straight past us, you yield. Then when you yield to traffic, you go up into the middle of the intersection. Either you will have a blinking yellow light, which will turn green, and that's to protect the left-hand turn, or you will have an unprotected turn, and you have to yield to traffic. If your instructor is not taking the time to explain this, you're not learning, and you potentially could get into an accident. You want an instructor who's going to give you visual demonstrations. When you look at my content, I try to give you a lot of visual demonstrations. I help you understand how you have to parallel park. You want to line your car up, you want to reverse back, you want to turn your wheel all the way to the right. The rear of the car will go on at a 45 angle. Once you're halfway past the car, you turn the wheel back all the way to the left. Congratulations, you just parallel parked. Once you explain those concepts to your students and they are able to communicate that back to you, then there's success. There's success between the student and there's success between the instructor. You can tell by my face that I'm very passionate, that I love teaching driver's education, and I want all of you to be successful. You cannot fake passion for teaching someone how to drive. You want a fun teacher. I'm very fun and I enjoy what I do because I realize that teaching someone how to drive is a lifelong skill that all of you need to know. Whether you're 18, 19, you're 23, 25, you're in your 30s, you're in your 40s, you always want to try to get better. And as I learn, I share these moments with you. My drivers had a fantastic drive tonight. Here's what made it fantastic. We were driving in a heavy downtown area. There were groups of people to the left, 8 to 10 people eating ice cream. There were people to the right of us, drinking and eating. I told my drivers to scan and look straight ahead. You have to scan and look straight ahead. You have to look for the hazards to the left. You have to look at the hazards to the right. But if you focus on one hazard, for instance, I'm steering to the left, you're going to miss. You need to be able to assess. And I saw my drivers do that without losing focus. That tells me they understand the hazards and dangers and they're ready to improve. When you understand this, you're ready to go on to your next lesson. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, you need to look at some of my content on beginning drivers, how you make right turns, how you make left turns. We turn hand over hand. We're in the United States. Many of you are in different parts of the world. I love you for that. Understand some of the concepts that I'm teaching you. You're going to learn from your instructor. You're going to learn from your mom. You're going to learn from your dad. You're going to learn from your brother. You're going to learn from watching my content. You need to do what works for you. And I understand that. And I am compassionate to teach you a different perspective. This is how you grow. This is how you learn. Let's talk about sharing stories in the classroom. I'm giving you my virtual classroom right now. We have people walking out in front of us who are not paying attention. We have to cover our brake and almost stop because pedestrians have the right of way. If you don't understand that, then you're going to end up striking a pedestrian. Manslaughter charge. We don't want that blood on our hands. I don't want to see you get in trouble. You have to listen to your instructor and trust the process. I am a real life state certified driving instructor. I give you this information because I want you to be successful. It takes time. It takes work. It doesn't happen overnight. Next, good instructors are very calm on the road. I'm very calm on the road. I use a sense of humor. I tell dad jokes. And I try to get you to relax because the goal is to make you feel comfortable. I can't be selfish with my feelings. I have to put your feelings first. And if you take the time to watch my content, you're going to start saying, I'm in the car with him. I just parallel parked. I just made a right turn. I just merged on a freeway. I just drove through a downtown area without any driving errors. You want to have a clean driving moment where you're taking your time, you're checking traffic, you're looking left, you're looking right, you're covering your brake. You don't want to have aha moments because if you have aha moments, you could run over a pedestrian, you could run a light, you could go up on the curb. All these things cause you to end up failing and not doing well. A good instructor allows you to fix your mistakes. You're going to make mistakes. I make mistakes. I'm not perfect. You're going to drift off the road to the right. Why? Because you're looking down at the speedometer. I'm looking down at the speedometer. You got to look ahead. You're going to stare at your mirrors too much. And if you stare at your mirrors too much, you're going to start drifting off the road. You're going to gather bits and pieces of information as I'm looking around and assess. Is the light going to change? It's a stale green light. If you don't know what this means, look through my content. A stale green light means the light has been green a very long time and the light will change very soon. So you want to be prepared just in case the light turns yellow, then red. If you can stop in 3 seconds safely, you need to do so. If you're in a busy downtown area, downtown Chicago, New York, LA, you've got to slow down and stop because pedestrians will jump out on that walk and you're in the middle of the intersection. So it's better to be safer and be patient than running a light and risk hitting a pedestrian. You always want to try to do things right. Good instructors are always modeling good behavior. Hey, that was a great turn. I need you to have your hands at 7 and 5. I need you to have your hands at 9 and 3. I need you to have your hands at 8 and 4. They're always assessing what you need to do to get better. And when you take the time to look at my content, I'm always trying to get better because when I get better, you get better. And that takes a certain level of commitment, not being scared to put yourself out there, but also listening to people, listening to comments. So I want to see you improve. Next, they use your hands. They show you, I need you to make a left turn. I need you to make a right turn. Don't be scared to talk to your instructor, build that relationship, and say, can you please explain this to me again? How do I parallel park? How do I make a protected left turn? How do I go through a roundabout? If they get irritated and go, man, I'm not telling you, then you have the wrong instructor. Good instructors are very passionate. They're very patient. They're nice. They don't yell at you. They let you make mistakes. They don't micromanage you. They help you grow. Now, on your side as a beginner, you need to be humble. You need to listen because students who listen tend to go further. Instructors who see students listening are willing to work harder. Example is me. I drove 10 hours today, but I'm taking a moment out of my day to connect with you, to show you, wow, this guy is really very passionate. I'm really learning something because I truly care and I want you to be successful. Good instructors stay calm. They give you advice on how to get better. Don't make the wheel small. Spread your hands out. A lot of beginning drivers freeze up. And if you freeze up, you're going to have an accident. I don't want you to have an accident. I want you to learn what to do. I want you to excel. If this brought you value, give it a thumbs up. Support. Bye.